Hi, welcome to the Stockinit Zombies. I'm Amy, also known as J-Nitma.
And I'm Megan, also known as Just Run It. And this is episode 114.
Woot woot.
Yes, the one before I go on a much needed retreat. So I'm headed to Wisconsin tomorrow for the January thaw. And you have a family birthday.
Yes, my husband is turning none of your business, as he would say. No, he says the number and then says, God, I'm old. And I'm like, oh my God. He's not even 40 yet.
Yeah. My husband's going to be 40 soon.
So, yeah. So there's that. And I have no babysitter lined up yet, and I need one.
Crowdsource. Anybody out there?
No. Well, maybe. There's a few people who watch us in Rochester, but
yeah.
Yeah, I will be making calls tomorrow and desperately looking for
It's Thursday.
Yeah, I know.
Were you trying to do something
Saturday.
on Saturday? Okay. Actual literal birthday.
Yeah, actual literal birthday. But if all I can get is Friday booked, then it's going to be like, oh, by the way, we're going here on your, Friday and not your birthday. But no,
yeah.
It won't matter.
I've had a bit of nostalgia lately because they've been uploading all of our old episodes to YouTube, and I do a little bit of a play to make sure that it works. And back in the day when I wasn't just Run It anymore, and I was just
Megan Williams.
Just Megan Williams. Yeah, Megan Williams squared. That awkward moment at the beginning of every episode that you may or may not remember. And we've definitely gotten a lot smoother with our intro.
Oh, okay.
Like, it used to be kind of like, and this is not like weird, but just like, we've got it down pat now. I think we could say it in our sleep. Hopefully don't want to say it in our sleep. That might disrupt things like sleeping. No. But what else? So thank you, everybody. I think that was our busiest episode thread.
Oh yes, with the ever.
It's an epic. It was an epic, record-breaking episode thread for letting us know how you watch the podcast. There was a resounding I watch my podcasts in iTunes, and so we are most definitely going to make that work. Although this evening, my son for Christmas got some Yo Gabba Gabba. This is all going to make sense in just a second.
Okay.
Some Yo Gabba Gabba pajamas, and so we were watching it on my phone, and I realized my phone kept on asking me if I wanted to tie it to my device. And I was like, what is it talking about? And then our new TiVo, I can cue things up on my phone and it will play on the TV. So we're on YouTube. You could cue us up on your phone and it would play on your TV if you had one of those, I think like Google Cast or a TiVo or some sort of DVR device. I think our DVD player also has the YouTube app. I don't know if it does the snazzy you can cue things up on your phone, but it was like, I could have made my family sit here and watch instead of listening to I Like to Dance, yeah, on Yo Gabba Gabba. I could have made them watch us on YouTube. Okay. I bet they would love that so much. So yeah, there's lots of options. We're going to make the YouTubes work.
YouTube and iTunes work.
That's what I meant. They are interchangeable in my mind right now when I say them aloud. Random distribution of YouTube and iTunes. But yes, we are going to make the iTunes work for the iTunes folks, and it'll be out on YouTube. And a tutorial should be forthcoming, although I've got the retreat and work and our retreat and design work and
yes,
and I've got a lot of ands right now, and so the tutorial hasn't been on the forefront of my priorities. In the quadrant scoring, it would be important but not urgent. Not urgent and important. I'm only dealing with urgent and importance right now.
Yes. I was just thinking, though, we need to start sending out emails for our retreat.
Yep.
So
we will be. I was going to say some of that
yes,
talk for the end if we
we will talk about the retreat at the end, and lots of things are coming, and we've gotten some things nailed down. Yay! And so, yeah, logo for this year. Yeah, we're excited.
Super excited. But yes, so that is that. Continue to look for us. It should be seamless. If you follow the blog, it should be seamless. If you follow us on iTunes, it should be seamless. And if you want to try us over on YouTube streaming, that would be new.
Yep.
And yeah, look for a upcoming tutorial if you're interested on our technical solution to the iTunes feed problem.
Yes.
Feed the iTunes. Blah.
Yes, we're not calling the process easy.
No.
This would be a advanced level solution.
It's not easy like Blip made it.
Yes,
exactly. To be blunt, Blip made it very easy to. In fact, I contacted Blip. Did I tell you that?
Mm-mm.
I was like, "So is this going to be a charged service that you'll provide then?" And they're like, "No, we are getting out of the iTunes podcast feed business." I was like, "Oh, okay. Well, it never hurts to ask, right?"
Mm-hmm.
Now that I've figured out how to do it, I don't know that I would pay them to do it, but you know. So there's that. Blah, 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 blah. Yep, the rest of it is retreaty stuff. For the end, our shirts, the pre-order ends in February. So if you want to go out and get those cute couch bears/cats, I like to think of them as cats, even though they've got the rounded ears. Take a look at that. As Amy alluded to, we've got the retreat graphic nailed down, and we should be unveiling that so you can make your decision if you're going to the retreat. I would recommend getting both because I think they're adorable. And the first January self-striping should be soonly. What is today? Well, we've got one more podcast.
Yep.
But get them out there.
Soonly.
Yeah. Get them out there if you're interested. And then get your resolutions in. Do we know when we're going to close down that thread?
Well, it's the January-February, so we could close it down at the end of this month, and then we'll open up the
reporting
one at the end of February. Give you a couple weeks to do that.
Cool. All right. Administratified.
Done.
Woohoo. Lots of blather from me. Sorry.
Oh, Gabba, pajamas,
YouTube, iTunes, used interchangeably, retreat.
Finished objects?
Yes, I have some finished objects. You have a pile of them over there, so.
Okay, I'll go.
Yes, please.
Again, I am trying to continue with the month of the square. So, I forgot my weaving squares at home. Shame on me. So, I have 3 of those. But I also have 3 of my squares for the Afghan blinky.
6 squares this week?
Yes. So 3 big and 3 small.
Look at you.
And I'm hoping that, I can keep up the 3 a week on these squares until all of my yarn is knit up. I hope so. But I don't know. I feel like I have enough that I could start laying it out, but I don't. I know I don't. I need to do 3 more skeins.
And if you prematurely lay it out, then it just becomes torturous.
Yes. Yes.
Oh my god. So many squares left.
Yep, exactly.
That's like when you measure because you think you're like 2 inches from being done with 400 stitches in the round, and you're nowhere near.
So my what was this called? Strange loop?
Mm-hmm.
My strange loop ended up being a tube.
Oh.
Because I ran out of yarn and it didn't go all the way around. I think that I could have changed the gauge and it might have gotten me there, but I am not. Goodness sakes, there's a lot of cat fur on this.
And Chaz is like climbing into your bag. Chaz, get out of there.
It's cute. You just fell over.
You fell over. Sorry.
Okay.
You guys can't see it, so it's uber entertaining for us, not so much for you.
So I just knit a tube, and it fits really nicely, just like, as, you know, like this.
Mm-hmm.
And since it is the kivyat, it's warm like this. Like,
Mm-hmm.
it doesn't feel like, and then I'll take my glasses off. Demonstrate the loveliness that is the cowl.
Very versatile.
Yeah, so, I mean, I don't know. It's simple, but it's perfectly acceptable, and since the yarn is so special, it is special,
Mm-hmm.
even though it's just a stockinette tube.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I would like to try, when I know I have enough yarn, to make one of those strange loops, because it was an interesting concept, but I just didn't make it. So now I have two. So, like, yeah, I just had too big of a head. I might have been able to make it if I had a smaller head. But anyway, that is that. It's adorable. And I have been wearing it this week. It's been uber cold.
It has been cold. I agree.
So, look at all the chest fur on that.
Yeah.
And that's it for finished.
Yes.
I have works in progress that will show what else I've been working on that's been crazy.
You're gonna put your glasses back on?
I should, because I should not
Freak
see.
people out. Freak them out. I finished my first self-stripies of the year, January self-stripers.
Oh, can you keep it up?
I can. I totally cast on the next self-stripers. So this is Vesper, is Knitterly Things in the Masquerade colorway. I knit it on size 0s, and I did a little bit of the broken rib. You can see there. And I did an OMG heel, and yeah, it was a fun, fairly quick knit. I cast them on at the beginning of January, and excited to have my first self-stripies of the year.
Cool.
And 1 got knit up, and 2 came in the mail, as you will see in the nameplate.
Oh no.
Yeah, it's the last of my.
But how many days are you up to now?
22.
22
I
cold
believe.
sheepy days.
Yes. And I was telling Amy before, I've actually turned off the yarn purchasing receptors in my brain.
Mm.
So I'm like immune. Like I see this enabling and I'm like, you know, that's great, but I've got a lot of yarn to knit before I would need that yarn.
Mm-hmm.
So like it's starting, I don't know if that's called like Stockholm syndrome or like I've just started to accept it. Like it's the stages of whatever, is one of them is acceptance, and I've accepted it. But suffice to say, socks.
Awesome.
Yes, I'm super excited about them. And that is my one and only FO. I had, you know, some other off-air stuff that you guys will see eventually, but not for now. Not for now. I've got lots of needle adjacent things though. So once I get to going on the things that I've got on the needles, I shall have my needle adjacent on the needle. So what are you working on there?
My Measure and Love cowl, which I had set down and hadn't worked on until I picked it up for the podcast. So it's just exactly where you saw it last time. But I've been working on my vest. So this is front and back sewn together.
Woohoo!
And ready to pick up and knit around the arms and the V-neck.
What kind of seaming did you do?
Mattress.
Okay.
So I did some mattress seaming, and all that was done this evening.
Ooh.
So yeah, I just need to get this picked up and start working on the arms, and got the one ball left. And yeah, I don't know whether I'm going to weave in the ends first and then pick up and start knitting things, or just...
Yeah, I feel you. I mean, I like to have it kind of clean before I get, you know, like get one stage kind of cleaned up and then start picking up, but then there's that off chance that you pick up through, like, accidentally through one of your like woven in ends, and then that stitch ends up being dropped because it's not like all tied into the work. I'm with you. I had
So-
a similar mental process with this.
So this is the Dr. G vest, and it's really nice. And I decided to do, fancy on both sides. So it was easily memorizable, and I ended up having fun knitting on it a little bit. And that is it for anything that got worked on. I did.
If you were working on it, you finished it.
Yeah. And Chazzy, move.
There's a cat in your bag.
See if I brought my spinning. I don't know if I did. It's hard to see with a cat in the bag.
Who left the cat in the bag? Who left the cat out of the bag?
If you could see down into this, you would be laughing right now. Oh, I'm sorry. Did that bobbin poke you? And then we just put you all back on the floor.
He doesn't care. My children manhandle him within an inch of his life.
So, this is my spinning. It matches our new Calico Kitty pretty well, except it's got blue in it as well. But it's got the black and the orange and white and blue. And that's Decay by, so like rotting, decaying, decay.
DK.
Yeah, like the word decay, not the initials decay. And,
Or the yarn weight DK.
Yes, exactly. Don't knit. Yeah. And, yeah, I'm enjoying the spin. It's nice and quick, and I will get the other half of this done and be exciting. But yeah, that's Cloud Lover. Really enjoying that.
Cool.
Yep.
And
That's it. I didn't work on anything else. I mean, I have a lot of socks on the needles, but I didn't work on them. So I think after this cowl, or as I'm finishing up this cowl, it's going to be Sock City, man. Stitch surfers and Kivyat socks and stripies. Like, I'm going to go nuts. It's going to be all socks all the time. That's my hope. And then until we hit the Ravelinic.
Mhm.
The Ravelinic, I cast on my lacy sweater, and then I'm going to power through that lacy sweater. Speaking of lacy sweaters, I didn't tell you this, I agreed to finish somebody's sweater for them. So,
fun.
I will be getting that in the mail soonly.
Soonly.
It's there in weights. They got a quarter of it done, so I'll finish the other 3/4.
That'll be exciting.
Yeah, they got the yarn on a D-stash, and the yarn ended up being like contaminated with something they're allergic to. Because they're not allergic to wool, and it's 100% wool, so why would they be allergic to the yarn? Well, apparently the household had something, and so they can't knit on it. It's so sad.
That is sad. So sad. I'm sitting here trying to figure out the last of my stitches here and have a split ply, but I'll put the stitch back on and talk about my work in progress. Once the ject came out, I couldn't quite get it. So this is the Halilea cardigan out of the Mustache Yarns Hello Skein. Last week you saw me down here in this, the really fun rows and the patterning at the bottom. I really enjoyed those rows. They were copycat rows, and so that you could do 2 right sides and then 2 wrong sides. It was kind of similar to what I did when I made it wasn't a kaleidoscope. What was it? It was for Camp Loopy, and I called it Picasso or Picasa instead of Picasso. Can't remember the pattern name now.
I thought it was kaleidoscope, but
maybe it was. I thought kaleidoscope was the one that I did out of the really crazy orange, yellow.
it is. So maybe you're thinking you did the technique on the wrong thing, because I think that you did do that technique on the
Anyway,
so exciting.
It is. You guys will love that little segment there of Megan and Amy trying to remember what Megan did in the past. But unfortunately, that wasn't one of the episodes that I watched and could remember. No. But anyway, it was just the single stripe, so you didn't, or the single row stripe, so you didn't get the, and it was the pink and the gray, and it was Lorna's laces, the soulmate for a Camp Loopy. Can't remember it. Anyway, it was pink and gray. It's really pretty. So it's very similar in that you, like I said, you do 2 right side rows and 2 wrong side rows, but this has that really fun little float in it that makes the pattern and the checking. I really like the picking up line here, where it draws a definite line in between the stockinette and the patterning. I haven't really been going gangbusters on this. There's been a few errata and updates that have come out, and so I'm just not getting ahead of the crowd. I think we're just kind of staying in a pack together, but still very much enjoying it. Still very much enjoying the yarn is 6 plies, and so I think that adds a lot to the drapiness. Mm-hmm. Every once in a while, I'll catch one of those mini 6 plies. Because the 6 ply isn't really tightly twisted, and so there is that factor where you can get a stray ply, as I was just saying. Mm-hmm. But other than that, the 6 plies make it really drapey and really nice, and the gauge at which it's knit at is very nice. So that'll be nice once I get her.
How many more times can you say nice?
Nice. It'll be nice. It'll nicely be nice to nicely nice wear it. Nice. Challenge me. Challenge accepted. Challenge me to say nice a few more times, and then I will. But yeah, I really am enjoying this knit. It's not flying off the needles, but most fingering weight garments don't fly off the needles. So
true. That's kind of why it's my Revolenic challenge, is so that I'll get a big bulk of it done in that big push. Mm-hmm. And it's doable to get it done, but my attention span might not last as long as the Revolenic.
Mostly just you don't get a feeling of momentum, right? I mean, like you just don't have like a great deal of like zoom zoom. Mm-hmm. It's more of I'm slowly but surely getting there. And as a marathon runner, I'm a previous marathon runner. I understand that slowly but surely you get there, and I don't need the immediate gratification of running as fast as I possibly can for a short distance. No sprinting for me. Only in agile world am I sprinting these days. And then, I'm sorry, I'm still talking about my works in progress. I grabbed some super old stash, maybe some of the first self-striping I ever bought. This is the Regia Flusy da Saka Monster. I think we've talked about it before when I've knit other things. But my children are now old enough that 50 grams isn't going to knit them a pair of socks, and so I'm knitting my son a pair of socks. And this is a perfect example of a self-striper. Look at, there's self-stripers on the thread that isn't really knitting up self-stripey.
Oh, wow.
So I think that the stripes are, they are kind of bleedy enough, and they stripe at more stitches, obviously. This is a smaller stitch for my baby Q's foot.
Oh, I see. Okay.
That is just not looking very stripey at the moment. I think I'm going to add some Hermione's Everyday Socks stitch pattern to the body. Mm-hmm. But I just have the toe there. But this is going to count as a self-striper. I have my 2nd month on the needles.
Cool.
And this is in my Annie little skein. Extra yarn. Annabelle, sorry. Annie is the proprietor, and then this is in my Girl Cave bags. I saw you had a matching one. Oh yeah, sitting next to you.
It's the baby. It's the baby. See, not matching. Baby.
I haven't put a bag on my head in so long. So sad. Memory. Like the corner of my mind. I told you I've been being nostalgic. Misty watercolor memories of the way We were.
Yes.
Yeah, again, probably super exciting for you guys. And that is my works in progress. I've got two, very similar to the two I had last week, in fact. So, I know, just let that speak to you on how much other stuff is going on in my everyday life. Just trying to get the podcast fixed up, and yes, we're gonna get her done.
There are things that, there's things that just get continually like, oh, we should do that, but it doesn't need to happen for another 2 weeks, so it gets pushed, and it gets pushed.
Yep, the quadrants.
Pushed.
The quadrants. Do you have any enabling perchance?
I do not. My enabling is all being dyed and prepped or whatever. So
future enabling.
Yeah, future enabling. Yeah. And
Okay.
that it is there. It's on the way. I haven't been invoiced for it, so who knows when you'll actually see it. But I know that it's being done. I've been informed as much. So yeah, I have stuff in the works. But yeah,
You don't
it's
have to feel bad for not having purchased anything, Amy. It's okay.
I think I think that it's not that. It's just I've been like you. I've been good for so long that it feels like, oh, I forgot I had these promises. Not that they'd force me to buy something, and I am excited for the thing that I wanted back then. But you wait so long for it that you're like, oh yeah, I'm not gonna have that no buying streak anymore because of something that my past self did. My past self is ruining my present tense self's resolve for not purchasing things.
So past Megan, going cold sheet, bought myself some self-stripers.
There you go.
And I think that it's analogous to a star that's burned out, whose rays are still reaching the earth.
Literally.
It's just, you're seeing it come in, but it happened in the past. So it's like time traveling yarn. It's time traveling yarn, yo. So I follow Yarntini on Instagram, and I happened to see her have an update of self-stripers, and it was pre-order. These are fantastic. Her color sense is spot on. If you could epitomize and boil down and make a essence of Megan's colors, it would be these. I just look at, it's got the green, that pop of green in there, and those blues and some browns and some bright blues and lighter blues, and I can't remember all of the different, they're both 10 equal 10 stripers. And this one is Under the Sea. Again, that's Yarntini 10 stripes. So I didn't even name probably half of them. There's some gray in there. What else am I missing on the? And that one's a super duper boogaloo. Super duper boogaloo, and that is also a 10 striper, which has the green in it and the blue in it that I love. Yes.
I really want this. But I look at it, I'm like, oh my goodness, 390 yards. I would use up every smidge of this yarn to make myself socks.
And see, I wouldn't be near. I don't really like tall socks. A, and B, I have shorter feet than you, right?
Yeah.
And skinnier. So yeah, I often, when I get done with my self-stripers, have a fairly substantial ball left
usually,
over.
Yeah.
I don't know if I left it in here.
But I know that there's been a few socks where I weighed it and I was like,
you'll have to do toe up if you got something like that. So yeah, you have to catch one of her updates. She's got some really pretty solids in her shop right now, but she doesn't have the self-stripers. And this was a pre-order. But I really like all of the colors in the colorway. She's got mixers named, for alcohol. And yeah, it's intoxicating. It's really pretty. So one of these for sure is going to be cast on for this year-long self-stripey. Probably this one. I think Amy may be indicating what she wants for her birthday. Could this be mine? If you were to give me an imaginary skein of yarn, it would be this one.
It's so lovely.
It is.
I haven't knit my Mind the Gap socks yet. So, I still have lovely yarns in my stash.
That's kind of where I'm at. I've got lots of very lovely yarns in my stash. So the event this weekend, I have given myself free reign to purchase at events, but I don't know that I will. So I know that there'll be like goodie bag stuff, and there will be some new Sun Valley Fibers colorways revealed, which might be tempting. I don't know if there'll be new bases, but I know there'll be new colorways. I don't know if did I show this already? This is my Antaros by Shannon Cook.
Might have, yeah.
It's an MCN vintage sari. This needs to get on the needles. This has been needle adjacent for too long. It's got the needles and the pattern and the yarn balled up, and I really want to knit. It's on size 10s.
Ooh,
so I really want to zoom on it. It's so close. I think I would feel even more stressed if I had more on the needles right now.
Oh yeah.
Like I need to focus on what I've got. So that is my enabling. If you see that yarn teeny, grab it with both hands and make it yours, because it is fantastic stuff. I love. It's nice. We're going with my code word for nice. It's nice. It's real nice. It's nicely nice. And that is enabling for moi. And then we were going to go into retweet news.
Yes.
So next week, let's put a pin in it. Next week we are going to reveal the new graphic for the retreat swag. And so you can make your educated decision on the t-shirts. Mm-hmm. I think that'll still give you, well, we won't just unveil it on the podcast. We could send something out too. We will get it out to you so you can decide before the February deadline to buy the other shirts.
Right.
And the roommates form is due by the end of January. So we will be submitting to the hotel. You won't be booking it directly as you did last year. We will be submitting on your behalf whether or not you have a single room, if you're a single room with the Wednesday added on, if you're a double room, if you're a double with the Wednesday added on, and then again for the double, you only have to fill out the form if you're the primary contact. And then we will give them your names, and then we'll contact you and say you need to give them your credit card. Here is, your room has been reserved. Call in with your credit card.
Yes, and if you have been overly ambitious and couldn't wait, and you've talked somebody into reserving your room under our block, please contact us. Mm-hmm. We've already had one person do that, so please contact us and let us know that you did that, so that we don't double book you. Mm-hmm. We should have a master list and we'll be able to see, but if you some reason aren't under our block, we won't see that. So
yep.
Let us know if you think you've already booked and you need to be.
But ultimately we are the folks that are booking the hotels this year. So,
yep.
Because it's all part of the process.
Yeah.
We have the KAL for the retreat that we will be announcing / kicking off. I can tell you that it will be with designers that will be featured in the designer showcase.
So we'll be posting an official list of the designers who are going to be in the showcase. And if you were unaware that you were a designer in the official showcase, basically if you had expressed an interest in the threads out in the boards, and if you still want to be out there, go out there into our retreat board threads and look for the designer showcase thread and put your name in.
Yeah.
Basically the knit along, as long as you are knitting from those designers, and then we'll have a little extra ad to tie everything together.
So you can't cast on.
No.
Because you don't know. You don't know. You don't know. I know you think you know, but you don't know. So yeah, that's the general overarching theme of the KAM. But more news will be coming on that. We're also going to have swaps, and that news will be coming. if you could start thinking in the back of your mind if you're interested in teaching a class, as we had some wonderful classes last year, wonderful teachers that submitted, great class ideas and then executed those classes wonderfully.
I believe we had the Bishop's Kiss Heel
premiere.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, I know I sent her welcome to our retreat just recently. So, Miss Patty will be back, sock therapist.
Yeah. So, if you, it doesn't have to be groundbreaking, earth-shattering class. If I wasn't running the retreat, and maybe if it's a well-oiled machine and I have extra time, because we always have extra time, I would teach something about data mining on Ravelry, because I really feel like it's so powerful. Mm-hmm. So powerful. All the different ways that dimensions you can flip Ravelry by, right? Like, show me all these projects that are knit with this yarn. No, show me this yarn what the projects are. Show me all of them that are in worsted weight. Show me. So I that's not necessarily something that you would have like a Franklin Habit or a Susie B. Anderson teach you. But it's something that I feel that I could speak knowledgeably about and that other people might benefit from. Yep. So start thinking about those. We're going to have an official form to submit those, and then we'll get the classes nailed down and the teachers contacted. I know that some of the teachers from last year are excited to get that nailed down. So
yes, and it can just be just to share your enthusiasm about something, mm-hmm. right? You never know. We will have limited class space, or different class space this year than we did last year. It's not limited per se. It's just it's very different. We won't have the same classrooms that we had last year. Mm-hmm. So,
which could be a good and a bad thing.
Yes, it's a little of both.
Yep. Last year we learned things from last year, yes. So we'll be doing things a little bit differently. And yeah, just tons of exciting. It's 2014, and we're ready to kick off. June is soon, as it was mentioned last year was our motto. And we are excited to see a lot of the excitement out there. So if you survived through all that jibber jabber, just know that things are happening and they are coming soon. And that's all I got.
Bye.
Bye.